Today on Astrolab, an episode filled with conflicts, chases, death sentences, and a true revolution of ideas that blew the mind of the universe itself.
For much of recorded history, it was believed that our world was the center of the universe, and that the sun and the rest of the planets orbited around us. Our special guest, the man who dared to challenge that assumption. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce tonight's special guest, Galileo Galilei! Galileo, what are you doing there? Come here.
Okay, I'll talk, but you must be ready to listen, because it's an astonishing story of our incredible, gigantic, and amazing universe. The teachers I had when I was young insisted our planet was at the center of the whole universe. They said everything rotated around the Earth.
Why did they think that? Tell us about it, Galileo. Tell us.
Because if God created the world, then he must have created it perfectly. However, if you carefully observe the other planets in our solar system, you discover that it isn't the sun that orbits the Earth, but the Earth, together with the other planets that orbit the sun. That means that the Earth is just another planet in the solar system, and definitely not the center of the universe.
So are you trying to say the Earth is moving? The Earth isn't moving. If it was moving, I'd be able to feel it. And it's not stirring at all.
It isn't standing still. The Earth rotates on an axis at a speed of 1,647 kilometers an hour over the equator. And that's not all. As well as turning on its axis like a giant spinning top, the Earth travels around the sun at speeds of up to 107,000 kilometers an hour. Whether we realize it or not, there is not one single moment in time in which we are completely still.
This is bad. This is very, very bad. The people of my time also thought like him. You know, even some of the ancient Greeks thought that the sun was in the center, with the planets going around it. For example, Aristarchus of Samos. Unfortunately, another philosopher of the same era named Aristotle was much more popular than Aristarchus. And while the majority of Aristotle's work endured through time, becoming the foundation of thought in the Middle Ages, most of Aristarchus's work was lost forever. It was sad, very sad indeed. Everybody just kept on believing whatever they were told.
But during those times, there were people who defended those first ideas of Aristarchus, weren't there? Like Copernicus here.
Ah, yes. That's my dear colleague, Nicholas Copernicus, a Polish monk with a passion for mathematics and astronomy.
If the Earth is the center of the universe, I can't explain the movement of the other planets. But if the sun was in the center of the universe and the Earth revolved around it, like the other planets, we would find the reason why the other planets are always whimsically changing their courses.
My distinguished colleague's revolutionary ideas slowly became popular across Europe after his death. Thanks to these ideas, I and many other people were able to elaborate our heliocentric models of the universe.
Heliocentric means that the sun is the center of our solar system, and the Earth and all the other planets revolve around it. Geocentric means that the Earth is the center. Inspired by Copernicus's idea, you proved heliocentrism to be a fact, didn't you, Galileo?
Me? Well, maybe I didn't, maybe I didn't. Oh, this is all a bit too familiar.
Galileo! Galileo!
Are you okay, Galileo? Galileo! Galileo, wake up! We've got a show to do! Around the end of the 15th century, in the year 1473, Nicholas Copernicus had managed to develop a brand new model of the universe.
Copernicus's book was called On the Revolutions of the Celestial Spheres. It was of great use to me. His idea spread throughout Europe, and not only did it help shape the way we thought about the Earth's place in the universe, but also about our own place.
Copernicus paved the way.
Sometimes evidence wasn't enough. Let's not forget that in those days, if someone disagreed with the church, they ran the risk of being declared a heretic and suffering an unpleasant fate. We were risking our lives.
Exactly. Many people died simply because they had told the truth.
Can't be serious! You're making that up!
No, it was true. Look over here.
Giordano Bruno, do you still maintain your heretical denial that the Earth is the center of the universe?
The universe is infinite. The Earth is not at the center of the universe. It is just one of the many planets in it. Everything in the universe is equally important.
Can you imagine looking through a telescope and discovering something that contradicts everything people have been taught for centuries? Galileo did just that, and he suffered great persecution because of it. What would you do? Would you tell everyone, or would you keep quiet? Vote in the poll or let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing moments from history.
As you have seen, in those days, when someone disagreed with the church, they ran the risk of suffering a very unpleasant fate. But Galileo revolutionized everything. Thanks to him, we were finally able to give up on the idea that the Earth was the center of the universe. What could make mankind's entire way of thinking change so completely? Was it by magic?
It wasn't magic at all. As a matter of fact, it was a rational thought. I wanted to prove my theory of heliocentrism scientifically, but I needed a device to do it.
That's why Galileo took advantage of a rustic invention of the time, the telescope.
And I imagine you did all this just to spy on your neighbors?
No, that's ridiculous.
Come on. Do you really think we're that gullible?
To prove the Earth was the one moving around the sun. I wanted to prove that the geocentric model was wrong. I began using my telescopes to observe the moon in detail and carefully recorded my findings. I built many telescopes, each one with greater magnification.
The moon was Galileo's first objective. He was thunderstruck by it. He began to draw it night after night as it grew in its waxing phase, astounded by its details. And then he discovered something amazing.
I noticed that the boundary between the illuminated and the shadowy parts of the moon was irregular. There were mountains, craters, valleys.
Galileo had discovered the existence of the lunar landscape, geographical features similar to those we see on Earth.
Now really, what a surprise that the moon has a landscape. That's hardly breaking news, is it?
Well, at the time it was, my dear sir. When I lived in Italy around 1610, everyone still believed as they had in Aristotle's time in regards to the sun and the moon.
The sun and the moon are perfect ethereal spheres. There are no flaws on their perfect surfaces. Ah, you are an artist. You are one of those Italian artists trying to copy ancient Greece. Tell me, what is this landscape you are drawing?
It's the landscape of the moon.
No. These Renaissance Italians are all the same. They take our knowledge and distort it, so the universe does not look as perfect as it should.
I'm just drawing what I observed. I'm not making anything up.
Aristotle said that celestial bodies have to be spherical and perfect. Otherwise, we would be saying that God made an imperfect world. How could that be?
On January 7th, 1610, Galileo was observing the planet Jupiter with his telescope. He discovered 4 little stars, invisible to the naked eye. This discovery meant that there were other celestial bodies revolving around other planets, not the Earth. This was a monumental, life-changing breakthrough.
Wait! It doesn't make any sense!
But with all due respect, Mr. Aristotle, I have observed that the moons of Jupiter change their positions, but they always stay close to Jupiter. I can also deduce that there is another center of movement in the universe other than the Earth.
But mankind must be at the center of the universe. If not, then how can that be?
These discoveries by Galileo provided evidence to support Copernicus's theories. The Earth, along with all the other planets, revolved around the sun.
No!
Galileo's telescope unlocked the door to exploring the cosmos in a brand new way. As a result of his findings, the world began to be thought of completely differently. A secret layer of our gigantic, amazing, and brilliant universe had been uncovered.
Well, that's enough work for today. Let's see what the neighbors are doing.
What happened to Galileo? He was targeted by the Inquisition of the Catholic Church. Believe it or not, he actually stood trial before the Pope himself. What do you think happened? Did he have to recant, or did he stand his ground until the end?
You can join the channel to watch all the episodes of our series, No Limits, because here at Astrolab you'll find videos about the great moments in human history that changed everything.
Because the greatest geniuses were those who dared to look at the world around us in a different way. And remember, everything is amazing when you have the desire to learn.